Hey guys, Keith Lightning here, and today I want to share with you an answer to a question I get all the time. So some people follow my blog and see that I work a lot in Peru, and I work with shamans, and I work with the sacred plant medicines, Ayahuasca, San Pedro, and magic mushrooms. And I get this question a lot. Also, I'm an interfaith minister. I went to an interfaith seminary to understand the world's religions and really just this diverse perspective on this magical world we live in. And so as a spiritual guide, I get this question all the time is, what does ayahuasca say about being gay? Or what does God say? Or what does this religion say? And what you should know about me is I came from a fundamentalist background. I grew up in a Baptist family, Baptist Pentecostal. So I grew up in the holy rollers, holy rollers, people rolling around the aisles, speaking tongues. I'm freaking terrified. I don't know what's going on about, Bible thumping. So there's a lot of shame. Shame was really kind of their secret weapon, and shame of even having a body. So what I can say is, what I have learned in my journey of a series of mystical experiences, and what I mean by that is when you have a direct connection of the divine. This can be different for everyone. It can happen in different scenarios. For me, most of them have happened when I've been in an altered state, when I work with plant medicines. Plant medicine is not for everyone. It resonates with me because I feel I have a strong connection to shamanic practice. I feel like I've probably been a shamanic practitioner, a shaman, or some sort of spiritual guide in every lifetime, from being a yogi, to healer, to a native North American, to spirit. I can feel my connection to this lineage. But the relevance here is that in all of these altered states, and all of these more divinely channeled, divinely inspired states, the truth is always just that who I am is absolute pure divine love. That there's no question of whether or not it's okay. There's no question of that. The problem we have are the belief systems. So if you grew up in either a Christian family, if you grew up in Judaism or any of the major religions, there tends to be some degree of fundamentalist thinking. And whether it's guilt or shame, there is a tremendous amount of fear. And I see this all the time when I work with that the issue of gay or the issue of sexuality wasn't really something that was even talked about, but it was just so bred into the vibration or into the fabric of their reality and into their culture. It depends where you live. If you live on West Coast, there's very much openness. If you live on the East Coast, not quite as open, more rigid. If you're in the Midwest, God bless you. There's just a lot of fear. But I grew up in Baltimore. It's just a lot of fear there. It doesn't matter that there's a lot of people out and things have changed. Really, it's about what's within. So we can go places and feel a little more comfortable, but if our beings are still carrying those belief systems that are operating against us, we're going to have that feeling of shame. We're going to have the feeling of something's wrong. So what I recommend is a book called The Velvet Rage. Now, The Velvet Rage speaks about 3 stages that gay or bisexual men go through. But the whole background of the point is that because we're growing up in a man's world that's a straight man's world, there's a tremendous amount of rage and pain and suffering and frustration that we have that's unique, because it's everything that we see from a man being at the woman, from how childbearing to how you be a man in the world. Everything, the model for masculinity is completely skewed. So I'm sure if you're watching this video, you've had the experience of growing up where you just didn't feel like any of the other men. You didn't want to watch NASCAR. You didn't want to shoot Bambi in the woods. You didn't want to do all the kind of things that guys did. There's probably a creative part of you, a more feminine part, or a more mystical, magical part of you that you wanted to explore. So working with these plant medicines can take you back to that place and remember. So the whole point of working with these medicines is for healing, is to return you to your core vibration. The core vibration is who you are. It's the blazing glory that you came into this world with as a child. And there's just the truth of who you are. You know, it doesn't, you know, before you even knew there was a right or wrong of what it is to be gay or whatever your authentic sexuality is. And these medicines, you have to think, like, they're literally just growing out of the earth. These medicines have been vibrating this vibration, their medicine, for thousands upon thousands of years. And they're designed to help us grow and to heal. So you take the medicine to release the vibrations, the energies that are in you, the beliefs and the feelings that are actually not serving you, that are not in resonance with the truth of who you are, to bring you back to your core vibration. Now, for some people, this can be a relatively quick process. For others, like myself, this was not a relatively quick process. It's many, many years that I've been slowly dismantling the egoic structures, really the layers of false personalities that we develop. So it isn't, so the question, if the question is what does ayahuasca say about being gay, or what would God say about being gay, isn't the issue. At the end of the day, do you feel proud of who you are? At the end of the day, do you celebrate who you are? Do you celebrate your sexuality? See, I was heterosexual for 30 some years. I thought I had a healthy sex life, so I didn't really know. And it wasn't until a couple years into my marriage, I started to have this low testosterone issue. Just completely healthy dude. I was bodybuilding as much as a 135-pound man can bodybuild, doing bodybuilding, working out a lot, eating super healthy. And all of a sudden my testosterone just dropped. And so I went to the doctor, ended up going to the dick doctor, and he put me on testosterone replacement. And after about a year, it worked great. It was like huge erections, I was ripped, but then it stopped working. So my body was trying to tell me there was something inside that really needed to be looked at. And during that time, it wasn't just my testosterone dropped, it was my libido and my desire for sex with my wife. So God bless her, you know, she went to bed many a night just rejected. And I just denied it all. You know, I just felt, you know, it was very much, I was very numb to the situation. I thought we just needed to do more spiritual work. So that's what we did. So I just thought we could fix it by doing some spiritual whatever. We had a deep soul connection. I felt we could just keep doing that kind of work and it would fix the sex, but it never did. And that slowly compounded. So it was like a decaying issue over years, where the issue of our sex life, just the resentment spilled over into everything, until one day everything just erupted, and it did not end very pretty. So I speak about, if you're having these questions, the two main things that you really need to get. The first is a system of support. You need one or two friends that you can confide in what you're feeling, and you need a professional. You need either a counselor who knows the realm of sexuality, or a coach, such as myself, someone who's been through this experience and knows this territory. And the second thing is a practice to get to explore your sexuality. This practice can be meditations, it can be mindful masturbation, you know, having a little sanctuary time, candles, bath, exploring your sexuality, going to festivals, getting dressed up, dancing, exploring the parts of yourself. So those are the two main things I recommend if you're starting to question. But yeah, if you can't, at the end of the day, just really celebrate who you are. See, there's something inside of you, you'll know. If there's a piece of you feel like you're missing, like you're not a whole man, then maybe there's something you need to look for. You need to inquire deeper. Doesn't mean you need to have sex with men. You know, a lot of men are actually just missing connection with men. Another thing that's really startling is that 1 in 6 men are sexually abused. 1 in 6 men before the age of 18 will be sexually violated by someone in their life. And if you've experienced this, and odds are 90% of men don't know it. They repress it until a certain point in their life. It depends how intense the abuse was. Some people, things will happen, they remembered. So give you an example, I was sexually abused by my father from ages 4 to 9. I didn't remember it for 30 some years. I started remembering it much later during my shamanic path. It didn't come out until I was really internally ready to deal with it. And the trainings that I've had in healing emotional blockages and healing sexual trauma prepared me to heal it in myself. So I've also experienced sexual abuse in my college years. I was sexually violated by my best friend. Of course, alcohol was involved. I remember that one fully. I rationalized, I diminished what it really meant. So these things are actually really common with men, specifically if you're not clear in your sexuality. So questioning your sexuality could mean a variety of things. It could mean maybe you're opening to, ultimately it means you're opening to your authentic sexuality, whatever that is, whether it's just you're pansexual, you're open, whether you're gay, whether you're bi, queer, whatever that is. Maybe you're just having a phase. Ultimately, you're opening to authentic sexuality. But it could also mean there could be some uncovered abuse there. Don't rush it. Don't pick the scab. It will come to the surface when it's ready. So our bodies and our psyches are designed quite actually brilliantly by the Creator in order for us to evolve in a way that doesn't annihilate us, in a way that is really honoring of the structures that are in place. So that's all I want to say now. If you want support, you can feel free to message me. Check out keithlightning.com for some more resources. And I also offer retreats and other programs for discovering your authentic sexuality. All right. See you on the next video.